Chair recognizes the senator from the 39th on a point of personal privilege.
Mr. President, members of the Senate, the Judiciary Non-Civil Committee met yesterday afternoon at 1 o'clock to take up House Bill 875, which has been colloquially termed the Guns Everywhere bill. It is the second or third gun bill that's been taken up this session. The first one was Senate Bill 280, which was my bill, I authored it, and it was a bill to repeal the Stand Your Ground law in Georgia. The committee chair was 20 minutes late to that meeting, and I was able to present the bill, and one other person was able to testify. And 60 minutes after the committee meeting began, it was adjourned. The meeting was over, and the standing room, well, it was standing room crowd only, and people were assembled out into the hall. People who I assume were for it and against it. Yesterday, when House Bill 875 was taken up, the committee meeting went on, and let me just remind you, I had asked regarding Senate Bill 280, I had asked for a full and fair hearing on Senate Bill 280. I got a hearing, but it was not full and fair. People had come from all over the metro Atlanta area and had come from all over the state for that hearing. Well, yesterday, House Bill 875 got a hearing, and I think you would have to call it a full and fair hearing by almost any measure. It went from 1 o'clock to about 4:30 for 3.5 hours, 1 o'clock to 4:33. 3 hours and 33 minutes. Unfortunately, it was announced that the author of the bill had death in the family, but his designated sponsor of the bill was 40 minutes late coming to the committee meeting. But the committee meeting went on anyway, even when the person carrying the bill was 40 minutes late, went on for 3.5 hours. I asked the chair of the committee, why the difference? 60 minutes, gavels adjourned, 3.5. They even went out in the hall and looked for people to testify, just about. I'm being facetious, but people were asked, anybody who didn't sign up want to come and speak? Anybody, and people who had not planned on speaking came down to that microphone. And the question I have, and I asked the chairman this publicly, so I'm not divulging private senatorial conversations. I asked the chair, why would he do that? Something that was obviously unfair and biased. He said, time constraints. I still am contemplating that because there obviously wasn't a time constraint yesterday, but there was a time constraint a month or two ago. He said that there were people, the only people at the other meeting were people who were for it, for Senate Bill 280. That's not true. He's wrong about that. So I got any number of public answers as to why the difference, why the double standard, why the double standard. And I can only conclude that the difference is this. Senate Bill 280 was a bill being promoted by gun safety advocates, and House Bill 875 is a bill being pushed by gun advocates, gun carry advocates. That's the difference. The fact of the matter is the Republican Party is in the thrall of the gun lobby. The NRA and Georgia carry. And that's what the reality is. That's why the double standard. But let me tell you something. A double standard does injury on any number of levels. It does injury to the Senate. Mr. President, we've had a lot of honoring and collegiality this morning, and people were quiet at that time. I can ask for no less, Mr. President. I can ask for no less. Less respect than other people were afforded, because I'm going to finish my comments.
Time has expired.
No, I'm going to finish. Mr. Chair, Mr. President, this is a version of what happened yesterday. It's a double standard and it's unfair. People have come to this well. You've had things up here for 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 minutes. I was timing it. I would like to be treated with the respect to be allowed to finish my comments.
How much time do you
I
need?
want 2 more minutes, please.
No,
if I could have
you're
2
not
more
going to
minutes.
be. You're not granted 2 more minutes. Your time has expired.
Mr. President,
this is the rule of the Senate.
Mr. President,
and you have to.
this is another
the decorum.
double standard.
There's no
it does injury to the Senate, but it also does injury to the dignity of people who serve in this body and the constituents I serve and the constituents who come to this legislature.
Unfortunately, I was tied up on another matter when he was speaking. What was the issue of concern? If this is pertaining to, Chair recognizes Senator on the 41st, what purpose you rise?
Mr. President, may I ask for unanimous consent to waive the rule and allow for a 2-minute continuation for his speech?
Well, the senator has the right to certainly do that. I want to be very clear to everyone. Let me have the Senate's attention for just a moment. I always try to be as fair and balanced as I possibly can. Now, no, everybody's going to listen to me for a moment, okay? And that is, we have rules. We try to abide by them. I oftentimes am very lenient on those issues. Just like today, the rule is we only have 5 presentations. Many of the members in this body were needing more time to recognize individuals, and I granted 10 today, okay? Now, I don't know how long the senator was in the well, but the points of personal privilege is 3 minutes. That's the rule, okay? Now, the issue is there's plenty of opportunities to express your concerns in 3 minutes on points of personal privilege. We've had all morning. It is 12:08 at the present time, and we came in at 10, we have not gotten to a bill yet. I am trying to work with every senator and treat them with the respect that they deserve. Anything that I've said is not disrespectful to the member from the 39th District. I value and appreciate him. I know he has passion and concern for the issue, and I share in that. But unfortunately, I was tied up with another matter and didn't understand exactly the point by which you were making. But please try to help all of us to work together. As the pastor said, let's try and be united as a house, not divided. And I hope that we're not being, and I hope the senator from the 39th does not feel disrespected, because that's not been the case. The senator from the 41st has asked for unanimous consent to suspend the rule. The senator from the 39th, are you needing 2 more minutes? Is that what you said? I'm going to grant you 2 more minutes to finish your point.
The point I was going to make is this. When there's a double standard applied to some members, you do not only do personal injury to me. I'm a big guy. I've been around a long time. You don't do injury just to the rules of the Senate. You do injury to human dignity. We're going to have on our calendar this afternoon a bill to honor Dr. King. But we're going to treat different members with different standards. Give one bill 3 hours and 33 minutes and give another bill 59 minutes and 45 seconds. There's no way that's fair. That's no way that's fair. And let me tell you something. It may take a while, but the majority is going to be the minority, just like the minority was the majority at one time. And you're going to want somebody to treat you with respect. I want the senator from the 29th to come to this well as many times as he wants to for the rest of the session and talk about religious freedom. We disagree, but he ought to have that right. It ought to be a right afforded to every member. In this body, we put double standards aside by the rules a long time ago, in about 1963. We ought to be mindful of that and allow every senator to speak truth to power if he so chooses. Thank you, Mr. President.